morning, children. In the previous chapter of history, we studied about new kings and kingdoms, and we discussed a large area nearby the river Kaveri. Today, we'll start with the third chapter of history, and the name of the chapter is the Delhi Sultans. Here, children, we will not study about the different dynasties. We'll only study about the introduction, about the beginning of these dynasties. Children, Tomars and Chauhans, they were the first one to rule over Delhi. And during that time, their time, Delhi became a great commercial center. And they also built the different areas, the different cities around Delhi. And later on, in this time period only, many mosques, temples, monuments, and many architectural buildings were constructed. So let's get on to the explanation of this chapter. So children, I was telling you about the Delhi Sultans. First, let's have a quick look at the rulers, Delhi under different rulers. So first were the Tomars, and then came Anangpala, and you can see the arrows. This Anangpal came in the year 1130 and he ruled till 1145. In this way, then came Chauhans, then early Turkish rulers, then Khiljis, then Tughlaqs, Sayyids, and then Lodhis, finally in the year 1451 to 1526. Then children, what was the condition of Delhi under Rajputs? Delhi first became the capital of a kingdom under the Tomar Rajputs. But Tomars, they were defeated in the middle of the 12th century by the Chauhans of Ajmer. And as I have told you that under Tomars and Chauhans, Delhi became an important trade and commercial center. Coins were minted here called Dehliwal. It had a wide circulation. So these were the coins, children, under the Rajput dynasty. And he was the ruler at that time, Prithviraj Chauhan. Now this is the quick preview of the rulers of Delhi, which we are going to study in the next chapter. And these were the dynasties, like the slave dynasty. It ruled in the year 1206. Then came the Khilji dynasty, then Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, and finally Lodhi dynasty, which ruled from the year 1451 to 1526. Then children, it's the map of the Delhi Sultanate. That is here. You can easily see who all ruled Delhi: the Rajputs, the Mongols, and these the different sultans who came to Delhi. Now we will talk about the Tariq and Tuareg. What does this Tariq means? It's a singular, and Tawarik is the plural word. The authors of Tawarik were learned men such as secretaries, administrators, poets, and courtiers, who both counted the events and advised rulers on various aspects of governance. And the authors of Tuareg, they mainly lived into the cities like Delhi, and they wrote histories for Sultan in the hope of rich rewards. And children, the authors, they also advised the rulers the need to preserve an ideal social order based on birthright and gender distinctions. So overall, I mean to say that they were the learned men who recounted, who noted down events, and even advised rulers on various aspects of governance. And children, they also highlighted the importance of just rule, that is giving justice to each and everyone. Now children, can you identify this lady? Yes,
She is Razia Sultan, and she was the first and the last woman Sultan of Delhi, and she ruled from 10th November 1236 to 14th October 1240. And children, what Minhaj-e-Siraj he thought about Razia Sultan? He thought that the queen's rule went against the ideal social order created by God. Children, this person, he had a different view about Razia Sultan. You can go through it, children, and the whole paragraph is mentioned in your book. You can read it and try to understand what he thought about Razia Sultan. Now, children, the two terms, hinterland and garrison towns. Do you have any idea what is hinterland? Hinterland is the land adjacent to a city or port that supplies it with goods and services. So, it's a city or a port where the goods and services are supplied. And what was a garrison town? A garrison town was a fortified settlement with soldiers, and it was constructed to protect the state from foreign invasions, and soldiers were deployed there in large numbers. So, in easy terms, we can say it's a fortified settlement. It's a fort which is constructed for the settlement of soldiers, and the soldiers, they settled here to protect the state from outside invasions and outside attacks. And soldiers, they were deployed, they were made to settle in this place in a large numbers. So, these are the two main terms which you should learn and remember it. So, this is the garrison towns, as you can see, children, here. These are all the fortified settlements where soldiers used to settle. Now, another term, masjid. I think everybody is familiar with this term. A mosque is called a masjid in Arabic, which means a place, a Muslim place where the worship is done, where the people worship Lord Allah. It's a holy place, and the members of the Muslim community, they offer the prayers, they offer namaz in masjid. So, everybody is familiar with this place. Now, children, a closer look. Administration and consolidation under the Khiljis and Tughlaqs. So, first in this topic, we will talk about Bandagan. What is this Bandagan? The Bandagans, they were special slaves purchased for military service by the early sultans, especially Iltutmish. So, the Bandans, they were the special slaves purchased, they were purchased by for military services. So, these were the people who worked as slaves, and they were purchased for military services by the early sultans, especially Iltutmish used to purchase the people as slaves for military services, and they were trained to important political offices in the kingdom. And children, they were totally dependent on the masters, and the sultan could trust them implicitly. So, they were totally dependent on the masters, and the sultans, they could trust them too much. Now, children, the clients, Khiljis and Tughlaqs, they raised people of humble birth who were often their clients, and they were appointed as generals and governors. So, these people, they were raised, they took care of the people, and they made their clients. So, someone, what is the meaning of client? Someone who is under the protection of another are dependent or hanger on. So, someone who is under the protection of another is known as a client. So, children, these are the few notes. You can go through it and also note down in your notebooks. Now, the concept of Iqta and Iqtidars. Unlike the earlier sultans, the Khilji and the Tughlaq monarchs, they appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying sizes, which means that they appointed Khilji and Tughlaq monarchs, they appointed military commanders and they were the governors of territories. And these lands, these territories, they were called Iqta and their holder was called Iqtidar or Mukti. That is, these lands, they were known as Iqta and the holder who looked after, who took care of these lands, they were known as Iqtidar or Mukti. And children, the duty of these Iqtidars was to lead military campaigns and to maintain law and order in their areas, in their lands. And in exchange for the military services, these Iqtidars, they collected the revenues for their assignments as salaries. Then the children, the different types of Sultanate taxes, that is the different taxes which were collected by the Delhi Sultans. So, there were three types of taxes on cultivation, that is the produce which the farmers produced, on cattle, the number of animals they kept, and also on their houses in which they lived. So, these were the three types of taxes which were collected by the sultans of Delhi. Now, this administration and consolidation, we were studying about the Khiljis and the Tughlaqs. At the time of Khiljis and Tughlaqs, what all was done when these Khiljis and Tughlaqs, they were ruling over Delhi. So, you can read it from the book and mark the important points. Now, the important happenings, children, the important events, events which took place in Delhi. The Mongols under Genghis Khan, they invaded Transaxonia in northeastern Iraq in 1219 and Delhi Sultanate faced their onslaught soon after. So, Genghis Khan invaded East Iran in 1290 and then the Delhi Sultanate has to face its effects soon after. Then Mongols' attacks on the Delhi Sultanate increased during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and also in the early years of Muhammad Tughlaq's rule. And this forced the two rulers to mobilize a large standing army in Delhi, which posed a huge administrative challenge. So, children, this is Alauddin's expeditions. Too much detail is not required in this chapter. You only go through where all Alauddin travelled and what were the places he captured. Now, children, in the next class, in the next chapter, we will study about the Mughal Empire, which ruled over Delhi for nearly a decade, which ruled over India from the year 1605 to the 1707. So, in the next chapter, we will study in detail about the Mughal Empire and the different Mughal rulers who came to India and they ruled especially Delhi and all the other parts of India. That's all for today. Thank you. Have a good day.